That's my soapbox for today is like, I know it's easy to say, well, like you got to rip the Band-Aid off and tank for the Steelers. One, that's not what they do. I don't think Omar Khan's timeline lines up with that. And so I just look at the Steelers and they're not an organization I expect to tank.
You know, I just told him, I'm like, bro, like in order for our defense to really go get one of the banners, me and you wanted to be the best too.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we've been working towards. You know, he's a grinder too. He's putting that work in and you're pushing each other to be better. So that's all you want.
We need to come up with the word that's kind of like prime time, but very much not.
Standalone.
Well, yeah, but not standalone. For the morning games.
Standalone.
Prime time.
Standalone. Hold on.
Something that, don't say standalone. Don't say standalone.
Standalone. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. Hey, Chris. Beau, good to see you.
Hello.
Buddy.
False start.
Cal,
The first fucking play of the game.
Tan Man. How is everybody, huh?
We're good. We're good.
Blind.
Schedule's out all the way, so we can really beat this to a pulp, and we'll talk about Aaron Rodgers a little bit. I think that's the most of the football today, and then we have a guest, Zaire Franklin, that I just recently booked. By recently, I mean this morning. So, we got a guest. That'll come later in the show. Without further ado.
Wait, Chris, real quick. Zaire Franklin, do you remember when we were in New Orleans, we saw him at the Super Bowl? We took a selfie with him.
Absolutely, and
we
sent it to
said
Jason
to
Kelce.
Yeah,
we basically
said,
squashed that beef. And I'm glad that we got a chance to extinguish that thing because two guys we like a lot. Two really good podcasters, too. We can't have podcasters out here fighting in training camp. You know what I'm saying?
Business.
It's
Fuck
bad.
Raw Room.
No, they're coming to town soon. Did you know that?
I heard rumblings, but we have a long-standing beef. You may remember.
Would they made fun of you?
Yeah.
What'd they say?
Macon was just saying that he's so much easier to get along with, and then he just comes in the pod and says, "Fuck Raw Room."
They said they could beat me up. Go ahead.
You want me to handicap the fight?
Well, I mean, don't underestimate the heart of a champion. What I have to say, it's not the size of the dog in the fight; it's the size of the fight in the dog.
You know, you got another ism that you like to say on here, which is, "I can't make a fist because of an injury that I had as a child." But why would you want to?
And a dear friend, when I said this, said, "Why would you ever want to?"
Yeah,
you know.
So mixed messaging here.
Yeah.
Hey, what was the thing you were saying about you're becoming easier to get along with?
Yeah. So like the last 16, 18 hours, I've just been pleasant to everybody. And
What spurred this?
an outing, you know, a school function. You got to go to these things with a bunch of parents, a bunch of little kids running around. And normally somebody comes up, says, "How are you?" I would just say something like, "We don't need to do this. Let's just stand here. We don't need to."
You don't like
exchange
small talk.
pleasantries. And then yesterday, I was like, "What do you do?
How's
You know,
your kids?
you know, some shit like this."
You got kids at this school?
Exactly. Right? It can be that simple.
Dude, fuck small talk. Seriously.
I was on fire. It was fun.
Yeah.
I was in a good mood. It carried throughout the evening into this morning.
You know, have you been watching Instagram reels? I saw a reel this weekend.
Kindness is free. Yeah.
This guy was like, "Hey, here's the key to appearing really smart. 4-second pause anytime somebody asks you a question." Is that what you've been doing?
I think so.
But like, did you get that from Instagram, or
No.
you just trying to sound smart naturally?
No. I think that's just my built-in divergence. But no, I think it does help to take a beat or two.
There's a second.
I'm gonna try that.
Last show, I think you were asked a question. And you
Oh, he did it.
Yeah,
he did
yeah.
it. That's what I'm saying. And then I saw the reel, and I was like, "Yo, this guy.
Yeah.
No.
He's basically just ripping his personality from reels."
Honestly, dude, I can't watch reels. And thank you for sending me so many of them.
Yeah.
I can't really get through them. I don't know. It just doesn't. It's not something my brain consumes. Now, a 50-minute period piece once a week.
I can't tell if you're doing a bit. Right
I'm not
now.
doing a bit.
Just a bit.
No.
You're like anti-ADHD. You're trending away from all of the short attention span media. And
That
you're
shit
moving
does
into
help.
long form.
I do like
That shit does help.
the Twitter website. Other than that, I'm not really consuming all the new school stuff. Twitter might be OG at this point. for millennials.
Dude, I'm trying to take a 4-second pause. You keep talking.
My bad. How are you?
I'm not bad. I had there's a situation this weekend. We went to the pool and we had a really nice server, young lady who was in the military, and so I was like, hey, thank you, and the whole thing. And when it came time to close out, this I think she was a Marine. She is a Marine. It's time to close out, right? I put $10 on as a tip. Because I just want, and the gratuity's already included, so I'm tipping on top.
Wow.
For the
Right?
troops.
This is like thanking a troop at the airport. I mean, like this is the next level. So I write $10.
Right, like TEN.
No.
DO. All right.
10.00. I look up in pen, obviously. I look up at the total. The total is $59. So
She thinks you're down to clown.
no. So the troop got $20. I turned the 1 into a 2, rather than send the bill in at $69. It'd be like, this fucking scumbag, dude. He had his whole family there, and he's giving me a $69 tab. I mean, this guy's a total scumbag.
That's funny. How do you know she is a troop?
Because I asked her.
You just ask random people if they're in the military?
Yeah, generally.
Okay.
No. It just kind of came up in conversation.
Okay.
She
Hey,
said,
what can I get
we were
you?
talking about tattoos. She was asking me about my tattoos.
Got
She
it.
had some tattoos. I said, where'd you get that one? She was naming like these places. And I was like, it was Portsmouth, and it was like a Navy type tattoo. And I go, let me guess the branch. And she's like, it was Popeye the Sailor. So I go, Navy.
Smart.
She goes, you're right.
Yeah.
So
So she's in the Navy.
she was in the Navy, Marine.
Yeah.
So anyways,
Keep saying Marine. Aren't those different things?
I'm glad you asked. Navy is the branch.
Okay, you can be a Marine inside the Navy.
Yes.
Can you be a Marine inside the Army?
No.
Okay.
They have like Rangers and that sort of thing.
Army Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Special Forces,
Air Force.
Green Berets, Air Force,
Separate branch.
separate branch.
Okay.
They're in the airplanes.
Got it.
Navy people are in the boats.
But some Navy people are in airplanes.
It's
You hear-
kind of
you hear about these
confusing.
Navy
It's kind
pilots,
of
right?
confusing. Anyways,
Yeah.
that's enough on the branches of the military. Let's get into Aaron Rodgers. Speaking of American patriots, Aaron Rodgers is back. I have some thoughts, but I figured I'd give you guys the floor for a second to see if you like it or dislike it.
Who else was it going to be? I like
Drew
it.
Aller,
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Howard. Why don't you like it, Beau? Don't do that. We can't do this the whole podcast, dude.
Well, Chris, to
This
me,
is a
I think
safe
it's
space.
you're just kind of. I mean, I understand the desire to reunite Aaron Rodgers with, Mike McCarthy and everything like that. But to me, it just feels like, what's the point? You have an incredible quarterback draft class coming up here in 2027. Like, we've been talking about this quarterback draft class for years. I think it's kind of one of those situations where you reunite two, a coach and a player who are both kind of past their primes. I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of McCarthy hiring in Pittsburgh in general. Like, I was kind of hoping that they'd go for a younger, flashier, like offensive talent, maybe. That's what a lot of teams are doing these days. But just feel like they're going to win like 6 or 7 games and have the most highly paid defense in the NFL and continue to underperform and then not end up with the quarterback that they want in this upcoming draft. And that's, obviously it's a gross oversimplification, but to me, it's like, play one of your young guys, try to develop them a little bit, lose a bunch of games, and then hit a home run with a young coach and a new young quarterback tandem. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
So, I get it. It really comes down to tanking, right? Like, that's what we're talking about. And the irony is always that fans kind of thumb their nose at it. I mean, I know some fans who are maybe fans of their team are hoping their team they hope their team loses games to move up the draft board and that sort of thing. But I think fans generally are anti-tanking because it fucks up the product. And I think for players, like you tank in the NBA, dudes are getting paid. It's guaranteed money. Nobody's getting speared in the back. Like you're playing basketball for 82 games and it's over. And a lot of times the good players aren't even playing. But in the NFL, like short earning windows, the physicality of the game, like players don't want to tank. Like I was on teams that were maybe covertly tanking. But I didn't pick up on the bit because being a football player is fucking hard, and you're always trying to win the game, the drill, whatever it is. It's harder to tank gracefully in football, or I should say this: it's harder to just all out tank because the players are going hard, and so that's the first thing. The second thing is you mentioned the amount of money tied up in that defense. I mean, they're near the top of the table when it comes to allocation of resources on that side of the ball. And on that side of the ball, you have some legacy players. TJ Watt, Cam Hayward. I just don't think organizationally that's who they are. That's really never been who they are, right? Like the Steelers are one of those charter franchises and they don't like doing it this way. And, Beau, you said, hey, they probably end up with 6 or 7 wins. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Like that's still mission accomplished in a quarterback draft class that's supposedly deep as fuck. I mean, like you can still find a franchise quarterback winning 6 games in a season that precedes a draft class like that. I will say, however, I think the thing people are worried about is winning 10 or 11 games, getting in the playoffs and ending up in the back half of the first round, kind of like they were this year. But I would caution people that just think it's a simple equation where it's like tank, find the future, and then go on your merry way. It's not that way. Like, look at all the great – I would say, and if I forgot your quarterback, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go down the list of franchise quarterbacks in the NFL. And obviously these are not equal talents. I mean, Matt Stafford is not Jordan Love, but they're both on the same list. Okay, Stafford ended up in L.A. via trade. Josh Allen, QB3 in his draft. Okay, QB3, 7th pick. Prescott, 4th rounder. Drake May, tank baby. Herbert, QB3 in his draft, 6th. Okay, Lawrence, tank baby. Darnold, free agent. Caleb, gifted from the Panthers because they wanted the first pick in 2023. And effectively, they had to tank. They offloaded some veterans and that sort of thing. The year they went 3-14 and 22. So, like, he's a tank baby indirectly. Goff, trade. Burrow, tank baby. But Andy Dalton started 13 games for him the year before. There probably were a lot of people that were saying, hey, don't put this fucking capable veteran quarterback out there. We want to tank. Well, it worked out that way anyways. Lamar, QB5. He's a multiple-time MVP. 2018, he's the 32nd pick in the draft. Mahomes, QB2, 10th pick. 2017, Jordan Love, 26 in that 2020 draft. Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. Baker, he's on a 1-year deal, his first year in Tampa. Bo Nix, QB6. That's the closest corollary to this draft coming up. Bo Nix, franchise quarterback. We'll see what happens with the ankle. QB6. Okay, you could, and he was drafted 12th. There could be an early run on quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts, QB5. He's won a Super Bowl in Philly. Okay, he's the 53rd pick. I say all that to say there's just no one way to get a quarterback. And when people start angling to get that quarterback, unless you have a bad fucking team and it's not going to take a lot to tank, a la Cincinnati in 2019 before they drafted Burrow. It's not as easy as it seems. There's a lot of talent on this Pittsburgh team. They've made some moves that I think make them better than they were last year. And there's nothing wrong with going for it. The only thing I would say is I wish in this draft class where they had a bunch of picks that they would have sent a couple somewhere to acquire some capital in next year's draft to be able to move up. Say they're picking 20th in the draft next year. They go to the playoffs, they lose the first round, and maybe they have some more capital next year. they could be more upwardly mobile had they done that, but they didn't, and that's fine. I think that's my soapbox for today is like, I know it's easy to say, well, like you got to rip the Band-Aid off and tank for the Steelers. One, that's not what they do. I don't think Omar Khan's timeline lines up with that. You know, there's also a consideration of putting asses in seats up there, which Nolan pointed out. And we were talking about this before the show. Like their local market is very important to them. And so I just look at the Steelers, and they're just not a big. They're not an organization I expect to tank. And I thought Aaron Rodgers had a pretty live arm last year. I do think there's some excitement around the McCarthy thing because I think McCarthy's going to fit him better offensively. I know they've been together, and the last time they were together, Rodgers was a totally different player because he could move and that sort of thing. But he's going to run more 11 personnel. They're gonna be able to get the ball out. They're going to be able to get more people out in the route. They didn't get people out in the route last year. They had big bodies on the field and that sort of thing. They did not do a lot of six-man protection. If they can play with more timing, and also guys like Pittman being a part of this deal, more yak. Yeah. The kid they drafted, Bernard,
Jeremy
from Bama. He's supposed to be a yak guy. More yak. That doesn't mean he has to spend all day in the pocket. And also, receivers that block, like Pittman, allow you to get in lighter sets and run the ball. So I think they're going to be better off. I just don't like the whole, like, hey, you got to tank to find your quarterback because it's objectively not true.
And
I think the thing about that, too, just real quick, is, like, I don't know how strong the AFC North is this year. And they probably realize that too. Like, as disappointing as the Steelers were at times last season, especially their defense, like I've talked about how much more I want out of their defense, just being, somewhat star-studded, a little bit aging, but like really good group, obviously expensive group. I don't think the AFC North is really scaring the Steelers organization, because they won the division last year and they weren't even, like they weren't at their best at times at the end of the year. So I think they're kind of seeing it as an opportunity to win with a head coach, legendary quarterback duo, without having to, like, I don't think they feel like they have to tank.
I think it'll be better. I think the AFC North will be better, but I also think they think their defense will play more like the defense they expected it to be last year.
Yeah.
I think Cincinnati's going to be better. I've been saying that for years now, and they always find a way to either because of injury or losing close games, inventing new ways to lose ball games, not win that division. I think Minter's going to make Baltimore better. But I understand the sentiment. Go prove it. You got to prove it to me.
And as you said, these are football players who go out and try hard. Teams who have tanked historically, it doesn't always work out. The Giants in multiple years have tanked really well weeks 1 to 14 and then gone 2-2 weeks 15 to 18 and really screwed up the whole tanking idea. And who knows, that late in the season, Mason Rudolph or Will Howard or Drew Aller could get competent enough to win some games.
Could fuck around and win them some games.
And behind door number 25, you could have a Brendan Sorsby supplemental draft.
That's right.
Where you assign a first-round pick to him, should you want to do that.
The other thing is this. I look at all the draft classes since 2000 and do this mental exercise where you say, certain drafts, there wasn't even one guy that you would say was worth sabotaging the prior season for. And that's like David Garrard's draft. He's not the first quarterback off the board, but he's the one guy in that class that I would say is a borderline or a franchise quarterback. You might just be tanking at the wrong time and not even know it. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I understand next year deeper class and that sort of thing, but that supports maybe going for it because you can still find a guy later in the first round.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I can't divorce the fact that I'm a football player from this take. It's so easy for me to say, as a fan, like, well, fuck it, just mail it in for a year. But number one, players don't. It's not easy for players to do that. Number two, and probably the most important thing is we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you don't hire Mike McCarthy to tank. No offense. And I'm not saying it's right. It's actually really fucked up. But customarily, you hire like Steve Wilkes to tank, right? Which is fucked up. But McCarthy's not that guy. Another thing that makes me bullish about McCarthy has spent an entire year living in Pittsburgh, crunching tape. He knows everything about that team. He probably has a lot of information about what was working, what wasn't working in the building before he even took the job. Not to say it's like, rocket science breaking down film, but, you also need to hear things about what's going on in the building, and I'm sure he was hearing those things. I don't know how long he was angling for this job or thinking that it might happen, but this is like a dream job for him, being from the Pittsburgh area, and he's going to pour everything into it. I also think having a hiatus for a coach can help. So, yeah, I'm not saying – I don't think they can win the Super Bowl necessarily, but, Denver in 2000 and what was it, 15?
Peyton?
Yeah, or
Yeah,
14. That was what was
Peyton's
the year?
last year was 15. 16 was Paxton Lynch.
Well, so Denver wins the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning couldn't turn his head. Aaron Rodgers still has a live arm. Yeah, it's a leap of logic to think that they could be like the no-fly zone next year on defense, but maybe they're a lot better. And so, yeah, I understand doing it. I still think you can find your guy, but none of this matters if they can't protect. None of it matters if they can't protect, which makes the tackle that they drafted in the first round like kind of the most important player on the field. We're talking about all this stuff, but like if that guy is a turnstile, it's going to be more the same. So, I think it's a really interesting – reading about all this, I like the Ron Wolf thing where you pick a quarterback every year. In Green Bay, it was like QB, scratch a lotto ticket every year.
Yep.
And I am all about that. I am. Now, I'm sure some draft nerds and I mean that like as a compliment, that spend more time on the analytics of drafting and that sort of thing, would tell you that it's such a waste like to give up one draft pick every year on a quarterback. But I just think the importance of the position, and until you have, I kind of think of it like dating for those of you who are still doing that. Play the field until it's time to settle down. And when it's time to give that quarterback a second contract, that's kind of when you settle down and take the foot off the gas pedal with the QB money ball. But until then, I don't buy this thing in modern football where it's like, well, if you draft a quarterback in the third round, it's going to fuck the quarterback up that you drafted a year or two prior. It's going to mess his head up. Well, maybe he's not the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, every other position has to deal with competition. And I don't think quarterbacks should be any different. And I think once you clear that bar of having a franchise quarterback, your life gets a lot easier. So why not throw the kitchen sink at it?
Say word.
And they did. And they took Drew Aller, who, if they can make him unlearn everything he learned in college,
Every single thing.
then he's going to be okay. And maybe they have their franchise quarterback in him. I don't think so, but we'll see. So I think it's a really interesting kind of intersection of like strategy in today's NFL. And also I just think the NFL is better with Aaron Rodgers in it as just a fan of the game. Like, I would much rather turn on the TV and see a 42-year-old Hall of Famer trying to put it together, who's still got a live arm. There's a storyline to that relative to seeing the next installation of Duck Hodges in like a primetime game. I just don't want to see it.
I want to know what kind of Aaron Rodgers we're going to get this year. I feel like each season he's got some new big media talking point, and I'm just curious to see what we're going to deal with.
Well,
with Aaron Rodgers.
We'll see if he's going to be on McAfee's show. I don't know, but I think guys legitimately like playing with Aaron Rodgers. I do. People don't realize this. Playing with Aaron Rodgers isn't listening to him on a spot. Yeah. For the Pat McAfee show. It's not, you're not listening to his, maybe at the lunch table you're hearing geopolitics and that sort of thing. We talk about all types of things in an NFL building. Players don't hate Aaron Rodgers the way the general public does. And that's not to say I agree with a lot of what he said or hasn't said, but I think he's a far more polarizing character outside of locker rooms than he is inside locker rooms.
One guy who has come across my screens is the cat who imitates him. Have you seen this guy?
No.
Oh,
he's good.
it's amazing. And Aaron's aware of him, and Aaron thinks he's amazing. They've met. It's beautiful.
Oh, well, shit. Well, maybe Aaron should hear my song, dude. I should have saved that. I was worried he wasn't going to sign, so So, anyways, that's my take on Rodgers. I think it's good for the game. I don't think it's as easy as, hey, tank and then you'll find your dance partner. So why not try to win games? You got hundreds of millions of dollars tied up in that defense. There are guys. And another thing is, culturally, The Steelers are one of the few teams that have like a culture, right? And we'll see how long that lasts with Tomlin gone. But they have defensively, from Dick LeBeau on, valued certain positions, certain types of players, and they have a way that they do things culturally in that building. And I think the TJ Watts of the world, the Cam Haywards of the world are important in continuing that tradition. And if you dump them the year you find a new coach, like what happens to the culture?
Do you think it's a pride thing too, that maybe they don't want to be seen at the top of that draft?
Sometimes I think that the fucking Steelers made a deal with the NFL where it's like, you're not allowed to tank, but we're gonna take care of you in some way.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that way is, but they have been looking for that franchise quarterback for almost a decade. So I understand Steelers fans saying like, come on, like let's get one all already, but it's just not that easy. And the Khan thing is relevant, okay? Like, he's been with Steelers since 2001, okay? He's entering year 5. If he decided to tank, he'd be admitting he failed. I mean, and we talked about that in the group text this morning. It's like you have to realize that for a lot of these guys working for these teams, like they're not thinking like fans. They have jobs to do. They're not going to be there to enjoy the fruits of their labor if they enjoy a 3-14 season necessarily. So,
Rodgers Realm at Rodgers Realm.
This is the guy.
Highly entertaining. Yeah.
I thought you didn't look at Instagram Reels, Macon.
I don't. I admitted one thing has gotten through, and it's this cat. He's brilliant.
All right, let's talk about this schedule, shall we? How do we want to do this? Let's go division by division. Beau, which division should we start with?
Let's start with the NFC East, dude. We know where our bread's buttered, but I want to say like so much, much ado is made out of the schedule release. I think part of it is just because of where we're at, where there's no fucking football. All we have is, the draft from a month ago, and then the guys are in like phase 2 of the offseason program, which is just working out. There's nothing like, the coach reporter scandals fizzling out. So I do love to see some of the social media stuff that the teams put out. The one that I liked the most was the Chargers. They've kind of been killing it. I feel like they've been doing the best on this. I don't want to get into this too much, but I just love the Halo 3 stuff. I don't know if you saw that. I thought it was
didn't.
What
can you explain the concept to me?
They just did it man, if you're not a gamer, it'll be hard to explain, but the Halo 3 back in the day, like, man, red versus blue, it was like this whole internet culture around how big Halo was, and they really leaned into it with their schedule and like threw some deep cut jabs in there at teams and stuff. That was my favorite one. It was good shit.
So Halo, you can throw the sticky grenades, right? That you toss a grenade and it sticks on somebody and then they die. They did that to Bo Nix and attached it to his ankle.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Shit like that. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Funny, yeah. It was like tons of deep cuts. Funny.
I saw the Bills one just a minute ago, and I showed you guys this, but like, I think the Bills, and we were just talking about this, have a superpower in that their franchise player is funny. Like, so you can just put him in skits. Like last year, they put him in the stadium. This year, he's like, they're sitting in there in a pitch meeting for the schedule release. I thought they kind of, it had that Tim Robinson skit vibes where they were pitching car ideas. If you don't know that skit, you should go watch it. You have no good car ideas. But I didn't get into the schedule releases to the degree I have in years past.
Good on you.
I skipped it.
Good on you.
That's good. That's a good thing.
I mean,
the Cardinals just totally mailed it in. I was going to go through all of them, and it started with the Cardinals because it's alphabetical. A minute and a half into the Cardinals one, I was like, dude, I am not doing this. There's just no way, dude. Yeah. It was like a Zoom meeting with the mascots, with the chat bar on the side. Fuck that shit. Okay.
Fuck all of this shit. Miles traveled. The teams who are traveling the most live on the sides of the fucking country.
Yeah.
Knock me over with a feather.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're also going to fucking Australia, Macon. You got to factor that in.
Melbourne, week 1. Okay.
Schedule.
Speaking of one corner of the country, let's do the NFCs. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll start with the Eagles. What they get?
17 games, I think it is this year. 2 apiece against their division opponents.
I think something to think about is like, I think of the schedule. We talk about rest. Let's start with the rest thing. Overall, the Warren Sharp's been going on and on about this rest thing. As the NFL goes to more of a all over the weekly
Globe.
calendar, whatever day, whatever country, there's going to be inequities in rest time. That's just I don't know how the NFL fixes that. But Warren Sharp was tracking rest deficits. He did it in 2025. He did it this year. I do think there's something to that. It's interesting. As players, the main thing we did lament was hey, we got a primetime game, a short week here. We got Thursday night football. Players hate Thursday night football. Hey, why the fuck do we have two straight road games and then a primetime game after that? Things like that. So I do think this is useful.
Yeah, in 2026, the NFL has done a good job, per Sharp, eliminating 3 games in 10 days. That's tough.
Yep.
Reducing 4 games in 17 days to only one such situation, reducing negated bye weeks, and reducing number of games played after a road Sunday night or Monday night game. The delta, though, in rest is plus 15 net rest edge for the Chicago Bears, who have the hardest schedule, and minus 24 net rest edge for the Los Angeles Chargers. So I don't know how you make that more equitable. To your point, based on the calendar, based on playing every day of the week, based on playing all over the globe, it's just not always going to be fair. What's more important is, does it matter, not just week to week, but on a grand scheme? And all of this, the one thing that moved me was the team entering the year with the most difficult strength of schedule based on last year's winning percentages. The last team to win a playoff game was the 2016 Atlanta Falcons.
I saw that. And the Chicago Bears own that unfortunate
that designation.
That's
a long time.
Now, I looked at that and I said, okay, well that could be winning a playoff game that could skew a little bit, but 7 of the last 10 teams didn't make the playoffs. Right. So there is something to it. I do think that we get a little bit too hyped up about last year's record. I think the more useful metric would be what are the Vegas win totals this year say about the schedules, but we don't do it that way. I'm sure somebody has done it that way. And
it's also interesting, Chris, as players, it's when you're a player and you get the schedule release, you're kind of just okay, when's the bye week? Do we have a Thursday night game? When is it?
How cold are some of the games late in the year?
Do we play on Thanksgiving? Do we play on Christmas? That's kind of all you really care about. And now in our retired era, we're talking about net rest edge and, you know, distance traveled and all this shit. And it's God damn, when did this fucking happen?
Well,
but I mean, you're talking about the Eagles a second ago, right? Or the NFC East. I'm looking at this graphic that we just threw up, which is the net rest edge graphic here. And they're at the bottom of the list. And I think one thing that kind of stands out for me is they have, the Birds have 4 teams that are coming off a bye week. And I think that does make a difference, especially in week 5. They're playing in London, come back and play the Panthers in week 6, who are coming off a bye week. That to me is a combination of 2 very bad things, So while I don't put a ton of stock in, rest, I guess I'm not as up to date on that, but that situation just fucking blows in general, from a player's perspective. You're flying, internationally straight into a team that's coming off a bye week. That's about as bad as it gets.
Yeah, and it's interesting to go international and not get a bye week following it.
You can still pick that though, right?
And you can pick that. For instance, when we get to Jacksonville, there's a whole nother consideration. They had to build their schedule out based on the Trevor Bank renovations. They go 40 days without a home game.
Yep.
I think the interesting thing when you look at Philly, what's the key to success for this team next year? What's the offense taking the next step? Because I think the defense has established itself under Vic Fangio as a perennial top 5 to 10 unit, right? So you got a new offensive coordinator. He's a young guy, Sean Mannion. You're trying to get the quarterback to try some things he hasn't done in the past. The start of the season I think is pretty friendly in that regard. Washington, Tennessee, Chicago. It gets tougher with LA, but the first 3 weeks of the season, I'm not saying it's 7-on-7, and Chicago had some really fun blitz packages, really tough on third down, despite not having a bunch of big, great rushers last year. But these are not elite defensive units to start the season. So that's one thing I look at is, like, if you've got a new quarterback, if you have a new offensive coordinator, like, how does the schedule lay out for that player or that coach? I think it's going to be fun to see them play the Bears, because the other side of the ball, Ben Johnson gave them a pretty serious ass kicking last year. I haven't seen the Eagles defense look like that in a couple of years. The way they played Chicago, the way Chicago had them chasing ghosts out on the field. Like, I look to see Vic closing the gap in prep in that game. And then obviously you got Seattle, Houston, and then at San Francisco to finish before the Giants in Week 18. That's not an easy deal. So the Eagles, being a team that has won a lot in recent years, are going to play in a lot of primetime standalone situations, and they got a little fucked on the rest delta this year. But I think the Cowboys, the late bye for me, Week 14, that's a tough one. We talk about, like, bye weeks, just being able to get to the edge of the pool when you're struggling to swim. Week 14 is kind of late. They end up with Baltimore and Rio, Houston, Tampa Bay in a 12-day span.
Hold on, Chris, real quick. They're playing Baltimore in Rio, and then they have to turn around and play a road game against the Texans a week later. Like, you're in Rio, Baltimore, fly back, and then Texans. Like, that's one team you do not want to play on the road. Like, with that defense, that's a tough fucking stretch for them.
It's a tough stretch, man. That's a tough stretch. And then you get the Parsons rematch in Week 6. Definitely interesting. Giants end up with 4 primetime games, 4 of the first 6 games at home, which I don't even know if Giants have a real home field advantage, but it's better to have it early in the year when the hype is real, right? When the stadium's full and people are expecting a lot of the team. You get the Daniel Jones and the Dayball revenge games. You get Dallas and Philly to finish. So if for some reason they're in this race, they're going to have a chance to knock off 2 of the best teams in the division at the end of the season. I don't know what you make of the schedule, you being the resident Giants fan. Remember to pause.
Like the start.
Yeah.
I know home Dallas at LA Rams is no picnic, but Tennessee, Arizona, Washington, New Orleans, you could get on a little bit of a roll. Giants similarly are facing a bunch of teams coming back from international games, which should be useful. But for me, it's impossible to predict. Who knows if a Week 8 bye is going to be better than a Week 14 bye based on who's healthy and not healthy when. So I don't know. I don't get too worked up about this. I think the Giants' primetime schedule is as much about the head coach as it is about the personnel. I know it's getting a little fun with Dart and Neighbors, Scat.
No, it's they're a fun team. The NFL is hungry for the Giants to be good. And this is as close as we've felt
like the floor is raised.
Yeah, so they want to put them on TV. The thing, you look at Washington, you talk about how you start the season. How you start the season with a new coordinator, trying to do some new things offensively at Eagles, at Cowboys versus the Seahawks.
2 away division road games, like
to start
the season. That sucks, man. Especially with, like, how their young quarterback's been playing. He's been a little banged up and stuff like that. It's like right into the fire, man, in 2026.
I mean, shit, they better be thankful that Daniel Jones might not be in peak Daniel Jones shape, because you're talking about you follow that 3-game stretch with the Colts, division game with the Giants, at Niners, bye week, Eagles, Rams, Giants, Bengals. Holy shit. If Washington is in this thing in late November, they're a pretty good team. Yeah. If Washington is in this thing in late November, they are a pretty good team, because that's tough. That is tough. So there's your NFC East. Let's move to the NFC North. We talked about the Bears. This is the ultimate prove-it year for them. This is the ultimate prove it year. You talk about having the rest advantage, but you've got the second-year quarterback who plays really well. Now, by some metrics, people would say, hey, like if you look at the statistics, completion percentage, that sort of thing, maybe not an elite quarterback, but when the game was on the line, he's probably the last guy you wanted to face last year.
Iceman.
I mean, he legitimately was, and they have the toughest schedule.
Especially at home, too.
Seven standalone games. 7 standalone games. We talked about the drought for teams with the toughest schedule. The last one to win a playoff game is Atlanta in 2016. So ultimate prove it year. Last 3 games in division. That to me is a nice opportunity for a team like that. Like we love to say as when I was in St. Louis and we always were out of it, we always did say, because it was technically true, everything we want to do is still in front of us. The later you can say that into the season, the better. And when you've got 3 division games to finish, your coach is telling the truth. Like you still have a chance to do something if you're in the race.
Fewest miles traveled, Chicago Bears.
Well, they're in the middle of the fucking country.
10,676.
Yeah.
Hey,
The thing I was going to say, the thing that stands out for me, the Bears, is like they open up on the road against the Panthers, and then they have 3 straight home games.
Yeah.
Like that's always, if you can rattle off 3 home wins start of your season. I mean, they got a division game against the Vikings, then they got the Eagles, the Jets all at home. They can, go 3-1 in that 4-game stretch. Like that's a strong start for them, man.
The only thing that sucks about that is like, and I know eventually they're going to be the Indiana Bears and they're going to play inside in like the Bears Dome just so they can get more like Justin Bieber concerts and shit. Like it's so stupid, but they're going to lose out on some cold weather games late in the season because they're going to be playing at home more so early in the season. I mean, that's a major advantage for them being at home late in the season. They do host, again, 2 out of those 3 games in division late. But the season ends with those 3 division games, and then you go to Buffalo before that. So yeah, it's I believe in the Bears. I do, but this is a prove it year. Talk about a team that I still believe in, the Lions. I still believe in the Lions, but the first 5, New Orleans, Buffalo, the Jets, Carolina, Arizona, respectively, 28th, 8th, 32nd, 24th, and 27th. Those opponents are in defensive DVOA last year. So that's a big help for Petzing, and I didn't include 25th. So, if you average those out, it's definitely, bottom third defense that you're playing pretty much every week to start the season. I know some of those teams will improve on defense, but that's helpful to a new offensive coordinator. And then the Lions opening the new Bills Stadium. That's a lot of fun. You get the Ben Johnson holiday revenge game. Yeah.
You should go to that game, Chris.
The holiday revenge game?
No, at with the Bills.
Thursday, September 17th.
That's a Thursday night game?
17th.
Yep.
I'd fucking go in a heartbeat.
New stadium.
Jump through
Never
a table?
tailgated. I've never been to that. I've never played. That's like one of the
hasn't
3
existed
or 4 places I've never. I'm saying I've never played at a
In
Bills
Buffalo.
game.
Understood.
It's fun, dude. It feels like
Buffalo.
a college game. So
Yeah.
Packers, again, you talk about this like having an advantage. The Packers, Lambeau Field, cold. I think this is the inverse of kind of what Chicago has going on with 3 out of 4 on the road early. That's tough. But if you're the Packers, it's going to be fucking colder than a well digger's ass
Marty.
in December. You want to play at home, and they are getting 4 out of 5 to finish at Lambeau. They open with 3 teams with quarterback questions: Minnesota, the Jets, Atlanta. I don't mind this schedule for them. I don't. And they play good ball early in the season, I feel like.
The Packers, Chris, like what we were talking about earlier, when you're a player, you look at the schedule and you're like, okay, what, we have a Thursday night game, like we play on Christmas, like blah, blah, blah. The Packers have a fucking ridiculous schedule this year. They have 2 Thursday night games. They have a Friday game on Christmas. And then they have a Wednesday game in week 12 against the Rams. Like I was looking at this, I was like, how do you I don't know. You know how the season is so routine based. You have your Tuesday off day, your Wednesday, early down run. Like, how do you prep for that? It just seems so bizarre to me. I don't know.
You
It
take it
seems like
one
they've
week
kind
at
of
a
been
time, Bo, and you got to have a very good
seriously.
sports science department. You have to have progressive coaches that can think about like schedule making and I think about the Rams because I had Reggie Scott, the trainer, like they're pretty progressive in the way that they think about player recovery and that sort of thing and sports science. Teams like that have a leg up in today's day and age of like, how do we tackle this problem? So, they're going to have to get busy in that regard. And then the Vikings, who are going to be an interesting team. I think the most interesting thing about this is like Kyler Murray is going to presumably get an opportunity to start the season, right? Who do you play off the bat? Like, how does that shake out for Kyler Murray? Like, is it a soft landing zone? You play Green Bay, you're going to play Chicago, you're going to play at Tampa, and then you get Miami and New Orleans and Indy. So this is a total question mark for me. I don't know what to make of the Vikings, but they do go to Mexico. There's a tough stretch, week 8 at Detroit, Buffalo, at Green Bay, at San Francisco, 2 primetime games, giving way to 2 short weeks. We'll see. Let's move to the NFC South. Falcons on the road, 3 out of the first 4 weeks of the season. Could this be Tua's team? We will see. I actually, there's reason to believe that he might perform well in Atlanta. I just want to prepare you for that. I want to brace yourself. I mean, they've got some talent on that offense. It's going to be playing indoors. If Tua wins the job, they maybe have 3 cold weather games the whole season. But as brutal as the first half of the season is, this team could be flying south for the winter early, dude. You've got at Pittsburgh, at Green Bay, versus Carolina, at New Orleans. There's a lot of road games to start, as I mentioned. You got Baltimore, Chicago, San Francisco, Tampa, Cincinnati, Kansas City, and then get to the side of the pool for the bye week.
Cincinnati's in Madrid, by the way. They're playing week 9 Bengals in Madrid, and then coming back week 10 and playing the Chiefs.
They kind of fucked themselves by playing so well last year internationally in that game against the Colts. Like, they did the league a big favor. And so you kind of, it's we've seen you do it once. We're going to expect it from you every year. They're going to put them right back in there. Circle week 14, you get Stefanski Bowl. And then week 4, kind of why do we have New Orleans hosting Atlanta in a Monday Night Football spot? Well, it's because of the 20th anniversary of the Dome coming. That's when they were out of their stadium because of Katrina. And then our boy Steve Gleason blocked a punt in front of a national audience. My hair's standing on end just thinking about it. It was one of the crowds in college, man, which is nuts. 20 years. But yeah, some Falcons wrinkles in the schedules. Panthers snapped the streak. Hadn't been on Sunday Night Football in a decade. They play Detroit ahead of a week 5 bye. You also get the Caleb and Bryce Bowl. Looking forward to that. Saints.
3 primetime games, Chris, for your short king, man.
The short king he's earning his way into these windows, dude.
Yeah.
He really had to earn
Most
it.
primetime games since 2016, which was Cam Newton's heyday.
Dude. Panthers are
Short
relevant.
king. Come on, baby.
Saints, shuck. They slow burned him last year. They got him. They got him on a timeline that was QB friendly last year. The first 2 weeks are going to Detroit and to Baltimore. So, it's going to be like time to go right away for this offense and this team, which people are thinking are going to be a lot better. The Bucs are interesting, Bo. 3 out of 4 early at home, which is a good thing because it's hotter than hell in Tampa, and that's a major advantage. But this team has fallen apart as the year has gone on customarily. And I think anybody who watches the Bucs knows this. Here's the stat. It's a Baker stat. Since Baker was their quarterback, 12-5 in weeks 1 to 6, and 12-6 in weeks 13 to 18. But in the middle of the season, they are 3-13. These terrible losing streaks that they deal with in the middle of the season, it's bad news for them. They got to stop that shit. And 6 out of the 11 remaining from week 7 on are divisional games. So that's a good thing, right? You get your hot games early in the season at home at Raymond James, and then all your potential is backloaded. You can still win the division no matter what happens with all those division games late in the season. But they have the AFC North. That's a tough draw, and they're winless against that division dating back to 2019.
And Chris, you're talking about how they've had their woes with the middle part of the season. So after week 4, they got the Packers at home. Then they have a Thursday road game in Dallas. Then they got Steelers, Panthers, Falcons, and Bears after that. I mean, they got to get that shit figured out because that's a stretch where, like you said, they've struggled, and that's a critical stretch for them with, two road games that are
hard for
against
me
divisional
to
opponents that are
hard for me to figure out why they've struggled in the middle of the year. It really is. It's
Ibuka was very different second half last year.
The linebacking play was terrible, and people caught on to torching them in the middle of the field. Baker got hurt.
Bucky Irving.
Bucky, the whole thing, but like but it's more than just last year. So NFC West, your Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, they're going to start with the Pats. They're going to beat the Pats. It could be ugly. And I like the Pats again, but I just think
too much distractions going on in Foxborough, Chris.
Here's the problem. The Pats last year were that team that had the easiest schedule. Everybody knows that. There were allusions to it in the schedule releases. People were calling them cupcakes or whatever. I think the Chargers did. The Chargers alluded to them having a cupcake schedule, which I wouldn't really do that because they beat the dog shit out of you last year in the playoffs. But I think the Pats are a good football team. I think they're ascending, strangely, but the schedule got harder this year, and it starts on the road in Seattle. And that is a really tough place to play when a team is raising that banner, and the energy in the building is palpable. It's tough to go to Seattle and beat them. I don't think they're going to do it. I think Seattle, what they get out of the rookie back is going to matter because Charbonnet early in the season is not going to be a part of the equation. And another interesting thing is the Rams and Hawks don't play until Christmas.
Will, do you think, losing Clint Kubiak be for Seattle like losing Ben Johnson was for Detroit?
I don't know if it's to that degree, but I think it's going to matter. I think it's going to matter. You take away Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet's on the shelf. A lot of what they did last year was predicated on a run game that could kind of keep you afloat and set things up in the play action, longer developing routes, that type of thing. Like the way they protect him is going to be important. I do think they take a step back at least early. But I still think they beat the Pats. There'll be an adjustment period like any team that's replacing the coordinator. But the Rams, okay, first 5 weeks, Melbourne and 3 primetime games and a visit to Philly. That's tough. That is tough.
It's a gauntlet.
That's a tough start. They play on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in the second half of the season. The schedule does soften before a nice bye week, week 11. That's a very nice bye week.
And that's ahead of the Wednesday game, Thanksgiving Eve.
I saw this stat was interesting. The Rams will travel more miles in the first 4 weeks than 24 different teams will travel all season.
It's nuts. Good thing their owner is absolutely loaded. Probably flies them well. And again, I alluded to this. They have the mindset. Like McVay takes care of his players. The training staff is real progressive. Like they have a mindset that they're going to try to keep the players fresh and on the right page. The nice thing about Melbourne is you're not following a game going that far. Like you can get there whenever you want. You can be in whatever kind of condition you want to be to play that game. But it's getting back on the horse. I said this last week. Bet the week 2 opponents against the spread of the Rams and the Niners. Speaking of the Niners, they're going to start the season without George Kittle. I think that's pretty interesting that you have to, plan around that. That's something that they're not used to. I mean, he's been hurt intermittently, but to start the season without him is going to be interesting. And obviously, if you're a Niners fan, you don't love going to Australia to open the season.
But dog, after that, home Miami, home Arizona, home Denver. Sets up a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It certainly does.
They're going to be on the West Coast a bunch after that stretch in Australia. I mean, like you said, but I mean, they're not going to leave the Pacific time zone that 8-week span until Falcons, I think.
At Atlanta.
Cardinals third hardest schedule they'll probably be the sweepstakes leaders after week 10. That's all we have to say about that. Although I think they could be stubbornly tough, and for teams that want to see them, 1 or 2 wins on the season, and Jacoby Brissett might have different ideas about that. They thought he helped. They thought they were better after he took the reins under center last year. They did. Yeah. And if Kyler Murray was the quarterback of this team starting the season, what would your outlook be?
Not great.
7, 8 win team, 9 win team. They thought they were better with Jacoby Brissett. So
dude, look at their first 12 games. Like
they can beat the Giants.
Come on, man.
They can beat the Giants. They know Petsing pretty well. They get Detroit at home. Yeah, they're gonna have to do a lot of work on the back half of the season. But here's the thing, they could end up with 5, 6 wins. That's the way this thing goes.
I don't think they will.
No,
they could.
Maybe not. I'm seeing the Jets. I'm seeing people's quarterbacks get hurt.
Quarterbacks available in that 2027 draft, though. For the Cardinals.
Hey, pimps! Would you rather play a primetime game on the road or at home?
At home.
Sure.
Yeah,
at home for sure. Of course.
Are you sure?
The plane ride back from a primetime game on the road is terrible. That's the part that
no
really
matter
fucks
win
you
or
up.
lose.
Well, yeah, because the game ends at like 1 a.m. Like
you're
just not going to sleep. And if you don't go to sleep till 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. after you do the hardest thing during the week, like that totally messes your whole rhythm up. And you're still feeling that. Like try that now. As an older person. Now I'm not playing any football games, but I think being old kind of controls for the delta between physical activity. Like I feel like shit now. I felt like shit because I was playing earlier, but now I feel like shit because I'm 41. Stay out till 6 a.m. Don't even drink. Stay out till 6 a.m. See how the rest of your week goes.
The Buffalo Bills have 2 Monday night games on the road.
Yeah, that sucks.
Mention a Sunday night game on the road.
That sucks. That's not great.
It's a tough schedule.
Speaking of the Bills, Houston, Detroit, Chargers, Patriots, Rams, Baltimore, Minnesota, all before week 9. That's a lot of aggressive pass rush, a lot of man coverage, a lot of blitzes. You better have your shit tight. They are making it hard on the Bills this year. Lots of primetime games. Kansas City on Thanksgiving, which is fantastic because it gives the NFL insurance just in case the games suck early in the day. You're getting Josh Allen and Mahomes in the evening. The Pats, Road Warriors, 3 out of the first 4 on the road. Welcome back to having a normal schedule, not the easiest schedule in the history of football. So we will see. I don't know what else you see on this schedule worth talking about.
It's a tough start for them. That you mentioned that they're on the road, but yeah, they got
good
4
bye week
big
as
ones
well. Week
early.
11.
The Jets, there's really nothing to talk about with the Jets. Somebody mentioned their interception streak still alive. Like, when does that end? That's probably the thing we're looking at. I mean, like, Cam Ward doesn't throw a lot of picks, but he is aggressive. It could end week 1, or it could end week 5 against Cleveland. The Finns, 3 out of 4 on the road to start with a new quarterback, including Minnesota. Good luck. I still think the Finns will surprise some people this year. You get the Green Bay homecoming for Jeff Hafley. Let's move to the AFC North. Baltimore Ravens. They are on the road a lot early, but defense travels. I really believe in Minter. I think that they're going to be better defensively. I don't think it's the toughest stretch in the world to start the season. They get a late bye. What week's their bye?
13.
Yeah, so that's not ideal, but I kind of don't mind their schedule.
They close.
Schedule's not bad.
Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincy, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so I don't hate Baltimore's schedule. I think I think Cincy got a really physical stretch early in the season. They have struggled, remember, in the month of September, and they're playing Tampa, Houston, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville. Damn. And, the physical stretch between Houston and Pittsburgh is just They're hosting KC, which is something they haven't done. They haven't played customarily. This is a real treat for us. And they're also hosting Baltimore in a primetime game. The NFL low-key kind of took them out of that primetime window. They only have 3. Or I don't know how many. They have 3? Is it 2 or 3 this year?
4 if you count the Falcons international.
There's just not a lot of primetime windows for one of the elite quarterbacks in the league.
We need to come up with the word that's kind of like prime time, but very much not.
Standalone.
Well, yeah, but not standalone for the morning games.
Standalone.
Prime time.
Standalone.
Hold on.
Breakfast football.
Something that don't say standalone. Don't say standalone.
Standalone. Third easiest schedule for Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's going to be good this year. Shocker. I think they're going to be good. Steelers,
We need to
big
win
gamble.
some fucking games in September, bro. I'm over it, man. Come on.
I'm not over it because I'd hate to jump off the bandwagon this year and all of a sudden they win the division, which Steelers, big gamble putting them in so many primetime windows. This is crazy. This is the ultimate like parlay situation for the NFL. Like they are just pushing all their chips to the middle of the table for Aaron Rodgers, who's going to be 43 years old in December. We do like Aaron Rodgers being on the field for the Steelers, but boy, this is a gamble. Paris, 2 Sunday night football games, Thursday night football, Monday night football. I mean, it's hard staying up late, dude. At my age, it is hard staying up late. I'm imagining being 43 and having to be up that late 5-6 times a season. That
got
might
drugs
matter.
for that.
Yeah, you're right. They do.
Oh, and now he's got the
I
old
love that
ball
the
and chain
Steelers are-
too to deal with.
What ball and chain?
Well, his wife.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But I don't really refer to a wife as a ball and chain. More like
Easy to get along with Macon does.
yeah, exactly. Last 18 hours. Browns easiest schedule in the league. Easiest schedule in the league. We'll see. AFC, some Browns fans are going to be like, what the fuck? All we get is a we'll see. This is a schedule release pod, dude. You got to earn it. AFC South, Houston, 3 out of 4 at home early. They're a tough team to play when you're getting your shit together. Defense is usually ahead of offense in the NFL, like in training camp and that sort of thing. Like defense is always ahead of offense. We'll see if that's the case because 3 out of 4 at home early, 4 out of 6 on the road to finish. That's the trade-off.
But dog, 3 out of those first 4 at home is Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott.
No, I understand. That's where you want to play them. You want to play them. And they have had Buffalo's number. They have had Buffalo's number. And I don't know if Dakota Prescott has what it takes to go in there and get the job done against these Houston Texans early in the season. But I do think Dallas is going to be good. Indy, tough to start the season at Baltimore and at Kansas City. Houston at home, at Washington and London, then at Pittsburgh. Jonathan Taylor, get your wheels warmed up because Daniel Jones is coming off an Achilles. Like, yeah, you got to run the football.
Hey, dog, suspect the spread. Bills at Texans, week 1.
Texans by 1.5.
Bills by 1.5.
Okay. That's
Public
interesting.
team.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Bills.
they adjusted for that. So Indy, we talked about that. I think that's going to be interesting to see how Daniel Jones comes off that injury. Jags, Cleveland, Denver, New England, Eagles, and Houston all before an early bye. Defensive tests there. Renovations costing you 40
games
days
in
away
London.
from home. 2 games in London.
Back to back.
This is red flag city. And I'm not doing this because Nate, when he comes on the show and he's, Mr. Jags and everything, he's going to think I'm trolling.
Yurt.
But this is the schedule brutal? Are there a lot of and this is also that team that like caught lightning in a bottle last year, overperformed. Are they going to be this year's Washington?
Hey, it's not. Hey, buddy. It's not prime time. It's downtime.
Downtime.
It's 10 in the morning. It's downtime on a
Downtime.
Sunday.
Yeah.
3 primetime games
That's right.
for the Jags.
And then you got the Titans here. I'm excited about the Titans. Jets, Giants, Colts, Browns. They could have 4 wins by the bye, dude. They could have more wins than that by the bye. I'm just naming some teams I think they could beat. They get the Raiders.
Can I
late.
say one thing about the Titans schedule
Yeah.
real quick, Chris? Just talking about the Packers schedule and from a player's perspective, how you're like, what the fuck? Like, when do we even play? Thursday, Wednesday? Dude, Titans schedule, all of their games are on Sunday. 15 of their games are at 1 p.m. and they have a bye in week 9. It's about as vanilla
That's
as it
awesome.
gets. You know,
Straightforward.
yeah, I love as a player. That's great.
They're in that zone where they're under the radar enough. We know they're going to be better, but the league is not asking too much of them because they're not marketable yet. In a year, they might have 4 primetime games, dude. I'm just telling you, this quarterback, man. I mean, not that this is a secret, but I'm going to be betting I'll be the sucker, and I'm going to bet their win total over.
Well, and the guitar strings on both their sleeves can't be overstated.
No, they are overstated on the sleeves. You also get a Derrick Henry revenge game, and then our last division, the AFC West. What is all this talk about? The Broncos being persecuted, Reed?
It's people are saying, "Oh, hey, the Broncos have to go on the road. They shouldn't have to because they had a good." And it doesn't matter. It's
just one game.
Yeah, it's one game.
That's just one game.
You know, one game to start the season. Big deal.
Nix is coming off an ankle. I think that's the most important thing. Like, what's Spags going to throw at him week 1? Like, I'm really interested to see that.
Hey, on the internet, is that what his leg really looks like?
No, that was
I haven't
Alex
seen it.
Smith.
Okay, chill, dude.
God damn, you're
Well,
looking at Alex
geez.
Smith's leg?
Right, so that's why I ask. Y'all
You're
internet
falling for
professionals over
clickbait.
here. Clickbait.
Listen, get to the bye in good shape, and you can really reel off some wins if you're Denver. I mean, the before the bye is tough. Okay.
Really hard front half of the schedule. One of the easiest second half of the schedule.
Yes. Now, I'll say this: the Chiefs. It is so important week 1 and they got a brutal schedule, but they're good. The Chiefs are going to be good. It is important that week 1 you regain control of this division. It has not felt like they've had a vice grip on it the last year or two, especially in this matchup, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's just a year or whatever, but like it feels like 5 years because of what we're used to with Kansas City's dominance. Like, they need to reassert themselves in that matchup. That is a huge game. It's not just one game; it's a division game. It's and there's 2 teams in your division now that could legitimately win it. And Denver's one of them, but it's a brutal schedule for the Chiefs. Just look at it.
Dude, check out this stretch. I mean, I was looking at their Thanksgiving game, at the Bills, and then I was my eyes were gazing after that. But they're playing at Buffalo for Thanksgiving. Then week 13 after Thanksgiving, they're in LA playing the Rams on Thursday Night Football. Then they're at Bengals. Then they're playing the Patriots at home for Monday Night Football. Then they're playing the Niners, and then they're at Chargers week 17. Like, that is a gauntlet that starts on primetime Thanksgiving and just continues through the end of the year. Now the one plus is at that point, hopefully Patrick Mahomes will be in Patrick Mahomes form. It starts week 12 and Thanksgiving, but damn, that's a fucking hell of a run right there.
An early bye week 2, week 5.
Boy, oh boy, what did the Chiefs do to the NFL?
Not enough, apparently.
Yeah. And so Chargers, you get the it's 2 interesting ones. Like, 2 of the teams that have curb stomped them the last couple of years in big spots. You get the Pats, November 29th, Sunday Night Football, and then you go to Baltimore for Monday Night Football. I'm bullish on the Chargers, and it felt like just yesterday I was saying never again, but they're addictive,
Home Arizona,
for the
home
Chargers,
Vegas.
man.
That should be 2-0.
Well, let's just get off to a good start, Justin. Because then you
got a good
at
chance,
Buffalo
though.
and Seattle and Denver and Kansas City,
Needs to be
and then
2-0.
and then the Rams and then Houston and then Baltimore. Holy
Good.
shit,
It
dude!
needs to be 2-0 for
That's
them.
got to be in the running for toughest stretch.
Golly, that is
Yeah.
a murderer's row. So
I mean, if you think about it, right, the AFC West is good. Like, it's a pretty deep division,
no question.
and like it just feels like their crossover games too are tough, man.
And so that's another thing. Like, when we talked about the Rodgers thing earlier, and I didn't mention this, I think the Rodgers thing means more to the teams in division. Them not tanking could cost 2 teams that could be in the running for home field advantage realistically. The easier path, the 2 automatic wins in division where you're playing a team that's Drew Aller quarterbacked or something like this. It's not going to be that easy for those teams, and it definitely could end up. You think about an AFC power that's not in one of these brutal divisions. Okay, I think the AFC North is tough. I think the AFC West is tough. You think about a team like Houston, if they got going and they're in the AFC South, and maybe Jacksonville takes a step back or that sort of thing, or Tennessee's cagey, but they're not a 10-win team like, or an AFC East team. The
Buffalo.
Pats take a step back. The Buffalo Bills, as tough as their schedule is, the ascending nature of AFC West supporting cast, and Pittsburgh not being willing to die, and Cleveland maybe having an easier schedule, getting better. If you're trying to be the number one seed in one of those two divisions, it's going to be tough. It will be. So, anyways, that was the schedule.
Raiders.
Oh, Raiders. Pull it up. I'm so sorry.
Raiders, Dolphins, Donnybrook, week 1.
That's going to be fun. That's a Bevel Conway if they play it right. You got a couple Bevel Conways early if they're played right.
Well,
Get
the
the
Dolphins
Chargers.
won't play it right.
No, they won't. But I don't know. Shit, that's a late bye week for a young quarterback. This begs the question, like, who do you start the season with? Run it up to the top here. Miami, LA, New Orleans, Kansas City. There's just not a there's not a soft landing spot for the QB.
Week 12.
Well, that'll
at
be Kirk
Cleveland.
Chains early, right?
Followed
Isn't that
by
what
a
we're
bye.
anticipating?
What are we anticipating? Kirko early?
Yep.
Aren't we? Yeah, we're
But
anticipating
usually
Kirk
we try to
Chains.
spot the soft spot where you would put the quarterback in and
Big brain right here
Yeah.
at Cleveland. Give them a bye week the next week. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games to watch them.
You want to start him off against Miles Garrett?
I think we start him. I think we start him Sunday, October 25th,
Ooh.
hosting the Rams against that ferocious pass rush, baptism by fire, and then you get the Jets on the road. You don't want to start the guy on the road. Jets, San Francisco, Murderers Row for 2 weeks. You get Cleveland. I mean, listen, you got to play the kid at some point. What are you going to do? Wait until the bye week? That's tough. I got no problem with waiting until the bye week, but they're not going to do that.
Week before the bye week.
I think it's going to be earlier. I do.
I think it's gonna be earlier too.
I do. Shit, maybe it's New Orleans. Maybe Kirk's totally shot physically, and we don't know it.
Maybe it's week 1. Maybe his camp. Listen to this. Listen up. Maybe his camp is nails.
Yeah.
We got to start this guy week 1.
Yeah. Well, I'll be on Twitter seeing practice throws, see how he's looking. I know we have Macon's got to go. He works for a living, and we've got Zaire Franklin. From tee shots to game-winning goals and buzzer-beating baskets, make every moment unforgettable with BetMGM. BetMGM gives you access to second-chance promos, odds boost tokens, same-game parlays, and so much more. Check back every day for new promos and offers to take advantage of. And if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code GREENLIGHT, and you'll get up to a $1,500 new player offer on your first wager. BetMGM, make it legendary. Y'all know I've been on the Create gummies, and you know the positives. I've talked about this. They really help with recovery, strength, cognition, staying active as I get older. And now creatine has a new addition, the creatine electrolytes. You take them together. Gummies are the foundation. Habits, you build the product you trust, create. It's the thing I take every day. And so now you can stack the gummies with the electrolytes. Together, the two products put you about 8 to 10 grams of creatine a day, which is, again, like the magic number for cognition and that sort of thing. If you're only taking 3 to 5 grams, you're kind of leaving some of the benefits on or off the table, however you want to put it. But consistent higher daily dosage has helped me a lot. And the electrolytes to the equation. I think hydration's enormous. So like the way I feel late in the day is going to be dependent upon how hydrated I am, if I got my exercise in, if I've taken my creatine gummies, if I'm sleeping, all that stuff. But on a day where maybe I don't have all those things lined up, creatine and create specifically really does help me kind of get through that. that occasional tough day. And the research on creatine and sleep deprivation is one of the most interesting things that honestly I've read. Being prepared and being ready is just as important for you as it is for any of us who have been through the draft process. So make sure you treat your body right with Create gummies and electrolytes. All right, back again. About 2 years to the date, time flies. We had Zaire Franklin on in 2024, and now he's back, and he's a member of the Green Bay Packers. What's up, dude?
Blessed. Glad to be here. Good to see you, as always.
Great seeing you, man. I think the last time we talked, see if you remember this, me and Beau at the Super Bowl, all fucked up.
Yes.
Trying to connect you and Kelce, trying to squash the beef between you and Kelce, dude, on the phone.
Yeah, we sent him a middle finger. For sure.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. A little selfie.
You know what's so funny? I actually stay in so much beef that I forgot that the Kelce thing even happened. We got an old lineman on our team, DK. He was on the Eagles, and he brought up, because I guess when he had got to the Philly, that's when they told him about me and Jason's whole squabble. I'm like, I stay in so much. I got so much beef out here. I can't keep up. I got love for Kelce. My only thing with Kelce is I just see, like, I'm happy for Kelce. He's a Philly legend. There's nothing but respect. He's obviously one of the greatest centers of all time. My only thing with Jason is, if we're ever in Philly and we just had like a dive bar together, we ever just end up being at we got to just run a fair one-on-one fight. That's just where I'm at. But other than that, we like super cool.
Or you guys could run it. You ever see that? You seeing those things online now where those dudes and like the Polynesian dudes are running 100 yards at each other? Did you seen that shit?
Yes, I have. That's CT waiting to happen.
Oh, not waiting to happen. It's happening, brother. It's happening. That shit is insane. As a football player, there's few things that make me like, no, I'm good. That's definitely one of them. Yeah, dude, just a good fair one, a good friendly fair one, and then you make up, and then you're friends again.
Yeah, because I actually have the clip. I had to. So when I told the story of everybody, I showed them. I did threaten Jason though. I did. We, it's joint practice. Tempers
for the record.
I did do something and then walk through the whole line and say, do something about it, right? And then Jason obviously did something about it. So.
He did something, yeah. Well, I seen the video too. We don't need to talk about the video.
The video was crazy, but based off the video, it's like, all right, just give me a fair one. That's all I really want.
You guys, I mean, holy shit. And he's like a little tank, dude, so if you don't really see him coming,
I mean, he had 30-yard build-up. Again, just know it's mutual respect because I never put the video up. That's
absolutely. Well, the thing is, people forget you're like a Philly guy and everything. So this is just not supposed to be. This isn't supposed to be an issue, and it's not because we squashed it Super Bowl week. This is what I do. I extinguish beefs, man. Then you got any other beefs you need extinguished? Like, what do we got?
I got a lot out there. I'm gonna leave that be though. Drake got me in my villain phase right now.
But you and Teague are good after that whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing but love for Teague and 520. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
dog, I love that fucking podcast.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. Yeah. We were just talking about podcasts before you came on. I just think Teague's got a cool brand. Like his brand is not. He doesn't seem like one of those ego guys until he started taking shots at football players. But
yeah, but Teague, I'm gonna tell you, 520 is elite. I ain't gonna lie, I love that show. I love all the guys. I love the whole cast. Shout out to Lou, Mike, all the guys. They treated me like, you feel me, like family until the last day, I guess. But no, I love to see them win. I ain't gonna lie, I really do. I like B-Hen and DJ and Teague. I still root for them. I just see they had something with Colin Coward. Like every time they got something, I'm a fan of like they organization. Cause I just like Teague because he from the city. He got his homies that he grew up with, and he genuinely like puts that city on. So I just respect that about their whole situation.
And he was a really good player. I think he was super underrated. And y'all are both underrated players in my opinion. I mean, you've had the accolades, all pro and that sort of thing, but I still think underrated when I think you. And I think about it with Teague too. But that's great. I mean, we can talk about podcasting all day. I think 520 is great. But I'm excited to talk to you about Green Bay, man. Traded to Green Bay. One of the things I found interesting was the process between you and Ballard, because not every process is like that. Mm-hmm. It sounded like he was kind of like, hey, Zaire, like, let me know what teams are on your short list. I'll try to get you there. What kind of went into that for you?
Yeah, I would just probably say, when it comes to me and Chris' relationship, I think like me being in Indy for so long, I think it was one of those things where I had an influence on the team before they even knew I did or even understood I did. It was kind of like, my third year there, I was voted a captain and I was playing 0 defensive snaps. And they just kind of like, why the hell is Zaire Franklin the captain? You know what I mean? Like one of those type of things.
Yeah.
And, just kind of as I, grew and progressed, I wasn't, and I'll be honest with you, like, Chris, there's guys in the building, they kind of run back to the GM all the time. That's just kind of how they handle it, with a GM or a coach. I would go talk to Chris once a year, literally. At the end of the year, me and him would sit down. But, our conversations was always direct and honest, on both sides. And, we had our conversation and stuff like that. And I just felt like, a lot of times he told me a lot of stuff about myself, on and off the field that, helped me grow. So I always appreciated it. So, just kind of when the opportunity came up, obviously Green Bay has really been, even when I went to free agency the first time, Green Bay had been trying to trade for me for like 6 years. Gutty said that this is not news. Like they've been literally trying to trade for me before I was even starting.
Really?
So yeah, Green Bay's been wanting me for a long time. So them getting Gannon, who I was kind of hoping he would maybe come to Indy, but I was looking to get back with Gannon anyway. So it just all worked out.
That's awesome, man. I mean, like so many times you don't have a say, and you put in the work, and you're almost a decade in, you end up in a new place you don't want to be or that sort of thing. But the fact that they want you there, like that means a lot. Like, because as a player, I might not be everybody's cup of tea, but it sounds like they had coveted you for some years, so that you probably felt that when you walked in the building.
No question. I mean, the thing is, like, Green Bay, they've just been the youngest team in the league for the last 2-3 years, so it's fun. They really look at me like the old. I don't feel like that.
Isn't that funny?
I don't really think that. I'm like, why y'all think that I'm so much older? But I get it when I talk to every single person I meet. I'm like, damn, what's going on? Woo. What year is this for you? They second or third? I'm like, damn.
You're Unk, dude. Are you Unk?
No, I ain't Unk. I'm Big Bro for sure.
Come on, bro. You're Unk.
I'm not Unk.
Dude,
Stop that.
I heard they lowered the standard for Unks.
No, they didn't lower it. They raised this. Look, I'm Big Bro. I ain't Unk yet. You feel me? I ain't there yet. But
I think I'm north of Unk.
Yeah, you are. You old
41. Head. I think I'm north of Unk, dude.
You old head now.
Old head, dude. Old head. But it's funny because, like, when I played, the league was getting younger after a couple CBAs. The vets are less common. They try to get younger and younger. I remember being 28, 29 with the Rams and having the closest parking space at 28 years old, dude. And I was like, that Green Bay team, I think it's interesting you bring it up because it's a young league now anyways. For them to be the youngest, I mean, that wide receiver room, with Wixie and all these guys. I know Wixie's gone. He's in Philly now. But, like, that was a young group. You had a young quarterback, the whole thing. I mean, that's cool, though, to walk into the building and be that vet.
Well, it's cool, too, because, like, you mentioned the receiver room, like they're all really good players, too. And it's like, it's cool to see, because I was with Kenny and Pitt and Buck and Grove. Like, we were together for a long time. So, like, It's cool to see these guys walking in to their first big money. You know what I mean? Shout out to Jay Reed. Jay Reed just got that bag. So, like, I know what it feels like when y'all all right around there tucked, right around that time, Coop. Like, it's a lot of good Wyatt, a lot of really good young players that's like, they just got it one more time and they, now they making, however much. So it's like, it's cool to see, just like that growth and, you see that vision for these guys. But it's a lot of talent on this team, though, for sure.
No question. Starting on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, I'm a big Reed fan. You just mentioned him getting the bag and everything, but you mentioned Wyatt, big fan of his game. The guy that I'm really excited about, and I don't know if everybody knows, but if you watch the Packers play, and people are expecting me to talk about Micah Parsons or something, this Cooper guy is a fucking dog.
Yeah.
What makes him so special or potentially so special?
Man, he just rangy. He just he's that linebacker that, everybody's coveting now. Physical, long. He's taller than I thought he was. Bigger than I thought he was. And, even like, it's funny because when you go to a new team, I'm watching some of Green Bay's defense just to learn the guys that I'm going to play with. And, he physical. He's nasty. He got some of that in him too. So I just feel like our games just complement each other perfectly. It's kind of how I don't want to be too messy, but it's kind of how I always seen some of my years in Indy going, with just him being like just a rangy, athletic guy, and obviously me being more stout and physical. I just feel like it's just a perfect complement. Just kind of going forward and just really something to build, the defense around.
Not to walk you into, you said messier, but I don't want to do bulletin board material, but I feel like y'all have a shot at being. Is there a team with a better off-ball middle of the field than you guys?
No, there's not. No, I'm not joking. Like when I got traded, he followed me, hit me, you feel me, just showing love. And I told him, I said, listen, we got to be the best linebacker in the league. And I love like being at Green Bay like already just because, man, it's just such a real standard of winning and tradition of winning. And like I'm the type of person like, man, put the bar up here and let me live up there. Like, you know what I mean? Raise the bar for me, raise my expectations, raise my standard and force me to get up there. I love that type of stuff. But, I just told him, I'm like, bro, like in order for our defense to really go get one of them banners, me and you going to have to be the best too. That's what we've been working towards. Obviously, some things I want to, I don't want to preach to him too much. It's only May, but, he's a grinder too. He's putting that work in and we pushing each other to be better. So that's all you want.
And the safety's behind you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, McKinney is an established dude. He was established when he got to Green Bay, but I think damn Evan Williams is ascending. Like
sleep on Ev for sure.
I mean, he's a real versatile player. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, him and Bull, him and Javon, man, it's just
I like Bullard.
Both of them on the opposite side. Like, I love Ev. I think, another, physical young player. And that's what I'm saying. It's so cool to see these guys, like, you feel me? They at that point where they really realizing and understanding who they are in this league. Like, they got that confidence because they've made plays on big stages and big games. And now it's at that point where, all right, can we come together as a team? Can we believe in what, we're going to run and who we're going to be, and really take that next step to go get that, get them 2 trophies behind you. You know what I mean? Like to me, that's what it's really all about.
I want to get to Mike. I got to ask about Micah, but I'm excited about you and JG, Jonathan Gannon, getting back together. Obviously didn't work out as well in Arizona. I didn't think he had the personnel to employ his scheme, personally. Now he's made comments alluding to, hey, my scheme's going to change wherever I am. Like, I'm a player's coach. It's about the players and their skill sets. But what are the foundational things as you understand it in this scheme?
Man, JG, first of all, I think he hit the nail on the head. He's not the type of person who lives and dies by a system. You know what I mean? He's not one of those guys that's just going to come cookie cutter and make everybody adjust to how he sees football. Like, football doesn't exist in multiple universes, which I think is great. He's already just been implementing and putting things in, for me personally to play my best ball, for Edge to play his best ball. Like you mentioned, Evan, and then obviously Micah Parsons is going to be put in the best position to be, the best version of himself as well.
There's the scheme right there.
Even Javon Hargrave too, and I'm gonna give Javon, some love too. He hasn't, we haven't met necessarily yet, but I've always been a fan of his game. I know who he is in that middle. A big guy like that can move like that. I've been around a couple of them, so you don't just get 10 sacks by accident. So. Or however many he had. So, JG's definitely committed to putting guys in a space to where they're most effective, Yeah. And I think, just with all that coming together, obviously with his experience, that's what's going to make it special.
When you look at the schedule release, I know with the D linemen, we were talking about this earlier, me and Beau, like what we would think about, and there's some universal things like bye weeks and rest time, or do we have an international game? What are the things you look at when you see the schedule come out?
Well, first off, I'm always looking at week 1. To me, that just sets my intention. In the offseason and leading up to the schedule release, I'm just very self-scouting, very internal, learning the defense, learning myself, pushing myself. But once they set that opponent for week 1, now that sets who we need to look at, who's on the hit list necessarily. So that's just kind of where I'm at, figuring that out. But also, too, when I see that schedule release, man, it just, just goes to show, the type of organization that we're part of. First of all, like, that that you getting put on these stages, you know.
Yeah.
That's not nothing to blink at, you know. Like, that's saying something. Everybody not on Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's a little different, you know. But it's a responsibility to come with that, you know. And there's nothing wrong with, you know, expectations, you know. Pressure make diamonds. That's what you want. So I ain't gonna lie. When the schedule released, I found out we had that Christmas boy. I mean, I was in the weight room doing astronomical things. It just turned you up a little bit, turn the music up a little higher, like because we got a party to go and get to. So, but you know, we're gonna take it 1 week at a time. We're gonna get to it. You know, focus on getting better every single day. So that's really the intention.
So you get a little fired up getting to play on, you know, Thanksgiving Eve. You get the Rams, and then Christmas Day, Chicago. You're not thinking about, hey, how I'm spending my holiday. It's a work day anyways.
Come on, baby. This is the NFL. The NFL is the holiday.
I know, dude. When I was growing up and my dad used to play on, you know, holidays or whatever, practice or whatever, he used to tell me and my brothers that Christmas was like a totally different day.
That's smart.
Yes, but we'd go to school and be like, hey, Merry Christmas. And fucking people would be like, hey, fucking Christmas. I don't know what you're doing in your house. But they would move holidays around.
You and your brother might be a little like off. Like, how y'all didn't know?
Exactly, dude.
I don't think I can get that off of my son. I ain't gonna lie.
He set me up, dude. We were like, yeah.
My son's 4. He was like, yeah, if I don't do this, I'm not gonna get any gifts on Christmas. I'm like, man, it's May. Like,
He's thinking ahead, dude. But you got you got 2 holiday games, you got 6 primetime games.
Right.
It's a privilege, man. You know, like I'm sure every year in Indy wasn't a bunch of primetime games. You're probably not real used to having this many.
Bro, my last Thanksgiving game, my last Thursday night game was Matt Ryan versus Russell Wilson, Denver on Thursday night. That was my last Thursday night game. And the score was like 9-6.
The Denver game was a legendary rock fight.
Stephon Gilmore made the game-winning PBU, and they said Indy never again. So,
dude, I love that game. I love.
I had a great game. I thought we won, so I was cool. So.
I think you did ball out, yeah, dude. But I mean, I like those rock fights. Y'all were definitely, but you don't have the, like you said. I mean, there's a couple ways of looking at it. I think the hard thing about primetime games though is this. And I tell people this when you go on the road to play, a Sunday night or a Monday night game, that really can fuck your week up a little bit. Like, you know, if you don't get your sleep on the plane, if you're getting home at 7 in the morning, you know, a lot of these coaches don't give you rest on the back end of that thing. That's where it can get tough doing the primetime games, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I would just say that kind of goes with being intentional. You know, I feel like, you know, this team, you know, just since I've been here, literally day one, since I walked in that building from the first day, every single thing has been about winning the championship. And, like, they're not afraid to say that. You know what I mean? Like, we've been in teams and had a year where people are afraid to say championship. You know what I mean? I love that about here, you know?
Yeah.
And so that being said, I just feel like we on a bigger path. So understanding that, you know, optimizing and taking advantage of our schedule and making sure that, you know, the guys are ready to play, that's going to be priority number one. I have no question about it.
Definitely. And then you being a vet, I mean, like you're probably figuring out ways to take care of your body that you didn't think about when you were younger and all that stuff. And, you know, like, I mean, I'm not making you out to be an unk, but like you're a little bit sorer at 29 than you are at 23. And let me ask you this. Here's one. And this I'm fucking dead serious about this. When I was picking as a free agent late in my career and when I went to Philly, part of it was, we play on grass.
Yes, 100%. 100%. I love the grass. Bro, yes, 100%. I ain't gonna lie. Every team that I was considering actually was grass, believe it or not. But it's funny because it's funny you said it because I be telling Coop. I'll be like,
He doesn't
Coop,
know it now.
I know he going to this third year, he knows nothing. So I'll be like, Coop, the things that you forget to do sometimes, like you be like, oh, I forgot to roll out, or I forgot to stretch this more.
I get the cold tub
every day. Like,
yeah.
It ain't no bill. I forgot to get a massage. I just showed up. Like, nah.
I'm coming back to the facility to do it again. When you go home, I'll be back.
No lie. But that's the love of it, though. You know what I mean? Like, once you get kids, you learn how to wake up real early. So it is what it is.
No question. They always said there's two elevators. There's your physical and your mental elevator. And like when you're in your prime, they're here. But right, so like your physical elevator, your recovery, all that stuff goes down and what you don't know when you're young. Like Coop, he has no idea right now because he's just so fucking athletic.
Right.
But that's just the game. That's the way it is. But you got the perspective of being almost 30 now and picking a team based on grass. I tell people on this podcast all the time, it really matters.
But Chris, the crazy thing is though, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, it's such a different situation because like last year I had surgery. Like I wasn't even walking at this point last year. I didn't start running until maybe a week or two before training camp.
That's too close.
And like literally, I missed with a new scheme. You know what I mean? And I don't live with excuses. I really don't. Like I don't put that in my world. But when I look back and it's just like it's cool this year to be able to like work forward. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting better rather than I felt like all last year, even like up until the first 4 weeks of the season, I was just trying to get back even. I was just trying to get back to myself, let alone be better than I was the year before. So. Like I'm just thankful for the health. I'm thankful that I'm able to compete and go out there every day. Like I
don't think people understand that just because you're cleared to play doesn't mean like you're good. You don't feel like yourself until you really get in the groove and you get like a month or two under your belt. At least that's the way I feel, like coming off surgery and that sort of thing. So,
literally.
And then lose schemes complicated, right?
I ain't gonna lie, it was definitely the most complicated scheme. I don't got no complaints, but it was one of the more complicated schemes I ever played in. It was good though. He got some heat in there. I ain't gonna lie, he do.
He seems cool too.
Yeah, he got some heat for sure.
Seems like a cool dude. He came on the show one time. He actually told me he's not a morning person.
He's a true New Yorker. He's a true every mean dude you ever met on the New York train that eats pizza, that's Lou. I ain't gonna lie. So I appreciate that though. I appreciate that from you.
Yeah, well, back with JG, and one of the reasons you've spoken on this, and I'm glad you did because I think the guy's really good, but I think for some reason the football world doesn't want to give him the status he deserves as Jordan Love. You said one of the reasons you ended up in Green Bay was Jordan Love. I think he's one of those dudes. He's got a chance to be one of those dudes. Like, what is it about his game that excites you?
First off, just the ability to make all the throws, man, he's got, he throws a beautiful ball, the deep ball obviously is going to keep everybody on their heels, and he's got a guy to throw the ball to, in Christian Watson. So, I just feel like, he's just a part of that growth, and it's cool because, we were connecting the other day. And I was telling him how I ain't played for my first 4 years, you know what I mean? Like, I know what that felt like, and we was laughing because it's like, when you're a guy and you was a first rounder, wasn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hate you a little bit.
Yeah, it's ingrained in all you late rounder guys.
when you a guy that had to wait years, to even practice.
Yeah.
To even run your own scheme, to like, man, once you get out there, you like a kid that had to miss recess. You know what I mean? So I just feel like his growth and his maturity, just moving on, and as he continued to build his career, he's definitely special. And it's cool. Every time on my timeline, I see another Jordan Love highlight. I love that. I love that for me.
Yeah. No, I mean the guy can rack it up. When he's on, he's as good as anybody. And you mentioned it. He can make any throw. And seems like a good dude and a hard worker. So, franchise quarterback for sure. You get to see Chicago twice a year. Mm-hmm. I got to figure playing against Ben Johnson. I don't know that you have. Last year, y'all didn't play Chicago.
I have. I played him when he was in Detroit.
Mm-hmm. The middle of the field seems like a tough place to be when you play a Ben Johnson offense because of all the window dressing and all the eye candy. Or do you think it's simpler than people make it seem?
I mean, with Jared Goff, maybe Jared Goff is a little surgical. So
yeah, he's surgical.
I don't know. You know what I mean? I played Caleb it was probably like his third game. So
yeah, he's
probably grown a lot since then. I mean, obviously Ben Johnson's one of the better play callers in the league. He's had success.
I love it when we get in division, bro.
But it's funny because it's real beef. Like that's a real beef. Like, but they don't know I'm a real like gang member. Like I really love that shit. So like I gotta kind of ease my way because I can't just jump into something I ain't been in. You feel me? But I'm waiting for the moment though. I really am.
you're in a real funny spot because you want to jump in.
Yeah, I do. Like,
but you're like, well, I haven't hit anybody in this uniform
yeah,
yet, so I don't want to do it yet.
Yeah.
But also, I can see the look on you. This is what I love. When I talk about the Bears, and I'll ask you something about the Lions too, you're just going to be like, yeah, kind of fucking unimpressed because they're in my division. I can't gas them. I love that, dude.
Cool. Like, but we going to see him, you know.
That's great. All right, well, let me ask you this. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, you kill me. Hey, Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the most valuable non-quarterbacks in the league. Would you agree?
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, for sure. I like him, Bijan. There's a lot of great running backs in the league.
You got Bijan last year. I'll give you one that maybe you can praise because in Atlanta, you saw Bijan in Germany. Mm-hmm. What makes him so tough? Is it just the stop and start?
Bijan?
Yeah.
Man, Bijan's got that elite contact balance, yo. Like, you really have to hit him square, wrap him up. Like, he will bounce off of a tackle and redirect. He's a true receiving threat out there, too. Like, one of those guys that can line up and run an option or will or, you know what I mean, when you covering him and the quarterback breaks contain, you got to cover him for 15 seconds. And, man, a lot of, like, that home run hitting speed, man, like, that type of stuff, like, you really can't leave a slither out there. But I would say when I was studying Bijan last year, and we obviously got him again this year, his contact balance to me was, like, it's up there, like, with Kamara's and all those other guys. The way he's able to bounce off of tackles, it can keep going, keep his momentum, and, like you said, start up again and accelerate. Like, that's rare. That's rare air he got.
And it's hard to know until you actually hit the guy. Like, you know, you watch him on film, but, like, you probably didn't realize, like, how hard he was to get down until you actually, like, get what you thought was a clean.
He's hard to get down. I caught him, but
I'm sure you got him down.
He's a good player, though. Yeah, he's a good player. I ain't going to say all that.
Compliment over. You're like, fuck, bro. Compliment over. We're giving him cool. a minute of – no, he's a beast. Gibbs is a beast. I just don't know how – in today's game, like, backers, you guys got it tough, man. Like, there's just a lot of great receiving – fucking running backs now. And, like, think about the way the offenses are sideline to sideline. You know, when I got in the league, linebackers were still like 260, it felt like. Mm-hmm. Things had just changed a lot. And I don't envy y'all's job, although it would be pretty cool to be a starting linebacker for the Packers. All right, well, tell me this. You played in Berlin. We're talking about Bijan. Mm-hmm. Are you anti-playing international, or do you think the league's getting kind of like OD with that?
You know, I think just from a business side, you know, I can understand that, you know, the desire to grow and expand the game internationally. You know, the more the game of the football grows, we all benefit. So from that standpoint, I understand. I think you got to be intentional with the travel specifics. Last year was the first year in Indy that the players flew first class. Before that, the players was the economy, and everybody on the staff and the coaching was in first class. So it was like opposite.
No, I know. This is the bullshit that I'm talking about. This is one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, even like they would bring their wives on the trip, and the wives would sit in first class, and we would be in economy. I'm like, that's out of pocket. No disrespect.
The coaches' wives are in first class?
That's what it was now. They changed it. But that's what it was, though. That's what it was.
And they got, like, the Matt Pryors of the world back there and coach, dude.
They give them a whole row.
It's crazy. No, they did that in Philly too, but you know who didn't do it was Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick put us up in the front like we should be. Bill was backing coach, bro. If the GOAT is in coach, like, I'm pretty sure any other coach should be in coach.
No, for sure. Bill probably don't even like all that space, though. He seemed like
he doesn't
bother him. I don't know, like
yeah, exactly, dude. No, Bill was a sick coach. He actually, like, low key took care of us in a lot of ways. But that's a big pet peeve for me. And the international thing is tough because I don't know, man. Jet lag is a motherfucker. You talk about a team playing in Australia.
Yeah, that's absurd. I ain't gonna lie. That's to me. That's where I feel like what are we doing a little bit, because football's not an exhibition type of ordeal. It's not boxing where we could just show up and have this match anywhere. There's a lot that goes into this, and even too, like, you ruining guys' entire pre-game routine. I got a whole weekly routine about how I go about this stuff. That's where I'm saying that's where the stuff kind of gets tricky. But excuse me, Germany was a great host. I love playing in Berlin. That was probably one of the highlights of my career, if I'm really being honest.
It's fun, but it's something that you're like, at least for me, going to London was like, I did it twice, and I was like, I don't need to do it 5 times.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I did it, but just not every year. And I'm going to take a stab at a couple people from last year to see what you thought. And I know praise is hard to come by, but you blew out the Titans twice. You're not in this division anymore. Maybe you can speak plainly.
Mm-hmm.
How good can Cam Ward be?
I thought Cam Ward had a extremely undervalued rookie year because his receivers just dropped the ball the whole time.
I agree.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was times where we played them. I remember we played them the first game. They're on the fringe of the red zone. We got a blitz. We don't necessarily drop the right way. He hits his tight end square in the hands. He drops it. If he catches it, a lot of tight ends might score, but he just flat out dropped it. His receivers and tight ends dropped the ball more than anybody else I've seen. So I thought Cam Ward was actually special. Obviously, he got to learn how to play on schedule and all that other stuff. That's, kind of part of the growth of a young quarterback. But I do love Carnell Tate over there. I think that's great for him.
Yeah.
I think Carnell was a great young receiver from Ohio State, and I think he's going to be great. Definitely helping be in that deep ball threat. They got the young kid from the Giants.
Yeah.
Kind of as a slot guy.
Wandale.
Yeah, he's going to be a good player. Obviously, he's going to get more opportunities out in Tennessee now that he's a money guy. He's being featured, so his production will match. And then I always was a fan, and I gained a lot of respect, honestly, for the running backs. Tony Pollard, when he came in, had some battles. And I like Tajay Spears a lot too. So
yeah, it's a good group. I'm a fan of Cam Ward. I think he just carries himself like a fucking adult. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if it's the fact that he was at like 4 schools or spent 5 years in college, but to me, he just seems like he's got it, and he's a strong dude. I've seen him shake off some tackles that I'm like, you talk about contact balance. There's just some guys that are hard to get down.
Yeah, I mean,
and he seems like one of those guys. You got him though?
Did I get? I tried to get a dirty sack. I came out of coverage and got in one, and I sent it in, but they didn't give it to me. It was one we all raced to put our hand up, like, hey.
Dude, that is the thing. Everybody fucking does that, and people who don't play don't know this, but it's like almost like in a D-line room. The code is, if you didn't make the play, put your fucking hand down, dude.
It was 3 of us on that one play, 3 guys.
Yeah. Everybody running away from the pile, bro. So which team would you hate to see win the South? Like, who was Jacksonville the rival?
I absolutely despise Jacksonville. I hate everything about the city. I got first cousins in Jacksonville. I hate the city. I hate literally every single thing. I don't even.
City's too big.
Don't really get along down in Jacksonville. I'm beyond I do not like Jacksonville at all. Like Trevor, every time we would go down there, he just had this worst fucking laugh at because he's just it was just weird. I hated going down. I hate that place. If I never go there again, my life is made. Honestly, Jacksonville. I only want negativity for them. Honestly, I really do.
I wish my co-host was in here, Dr. Fax, who you see on the clips. He's a Jacksonville fanatic.
Is he really?
Oh, he's a fanatic, bro.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna fight during the Bills and Jags game because I love the Bills, and we were screaming at each other. He's delusional.
Yeah, I hate
He's delusional.
I really do.
It's crazy. You played Pittsburgh. Rodgers just made the news.
Mm-hmm.
He's in it one more year. They only beat. I don't want to say only. I don't want to disrespect him, but they beat you because of the turnovers. It wasn't like.
Yeah.
What did you see? He's 43 years old this December. I think the arm's still there big time. It's just they got to protect him.
Arms for sure there. Him being with McCarthy is going to be significant in my opinion. I felt like not that he was necessarily handicapped because I do think that injury kind of brought him down to earth a little bit. To be honest with you, no disrespect to AR, but I definitely think him getting back with McCarthy, being able to be in a system where he's familiar with, they speak the same language. It's not so much of Aaron presenting plays that he likes. That everybody's got to learn just because Aaron likes it, rather than it's like, oh, McCarthy and Aaron have had success running these plays. Let's implement that stuff. I know they upgraded the receiver room. Shout out to my guy, Michael Pittman.
Pitt's a beast,
I
dude.
think Pitt is perfect. It's funny because I feel like the guys that left Indy went exactly where we should have been, or should go. Pittman, he's a California kid, but he's weird as shit. Like,
Yeah.
he farms. Like, he loves being outside in the cold. He gonna be out there with no sleeves and a turtleneck. Like, that makes sense. Like, that's my guy. Like, we fought a bunch of times. That's my boy. I love him to death. But I feel like Pittsburgh is like, he's a tough ass player. That's like the perfect city for him to go and play.
Yeah, he's like a blue collar guy, and I think he's gonna help them a lot blocking, dude. Like you can tell he's definitely willing to stick his face in there.
For sure, and the short and intermediate stuff too. He's gonna be able to do more in Pittsburgh than he was able to do in Indy. And obviously DK is out there, and Friedman too. I like Friedman.
Yeah, no, I think they're gonna be pretty good. And if Rodgers can stay in one, they just have to protect him. I thought it was. By the way, I had Latu on last week.
Oh, I love Latu.
Dude, what a stud!
I love Latu.
What a great dude, and
yes.
and what a if you know ball, you've watched rushers your whole career. Like, he's got a multitude of moves.
Yes.
Like, he's a technician.
Yes.
I think he's gonna go off this year.
Yeah, true pass rusher. Like, I feel like people don't understand. I feel like the same way that they give quarterbacks grace as they grow and develop in the league, I feel like you need to give the same thing to pass rushers, because it's truly an art and a skill. Like, people who don't understand, like, when you're in college, even if you playing, pro level, type of talent,
Yes.
you're still that much faster than them. You're still stronger than them. Like, but when you go up against a Tunsil, when you go up against, a Lane John, like, bro, they don't care about all, like, bro, they gonna put their hand, like, it's just a different situation. You got to grow into it. And I think Latu, then he had 3 picks last year. That was, like, different. He's like, I talked to him a lot about being a ball guy and just, like, expanding your game. I feel like the sacks is going to come just because that's what he's talented at. But, like, I just love how, like, TJ plays. TJ Watt, like, catches the picks, the fumbles. Like, that stuff really changes games. Like, don't just get the sack. Go and change the game.
That's the thing that's hard to teach. The rush you develop, and certainly for me, 2 years. I think I had 10 sacks my first 2 years total, and then the next 4 I had 40. It's just like you make those jumps, you have those realizations, but then as far as the ball skills are concerned, you kind of either have it or you don't. Like, either you have a nose or you don't for the football, and that's the one thing when you watch Latu, getting in the passing windows, getting a hand up, finishing a TFL rather than being the guy that disrupts it, where you clean it up, he's finishing it. Like, he's just a good football player. Anyways, a tangent to say, I really loved interviewing him. I thought he was a fucking great dude too.
He's the best. He's like one of those best. Like, it's so funny. So last year in the locker room, before we played Kansas City, I had the whole defense come over my house, like, because we were coming off a bye after Berlin. We were #1 team, and, like, going to play Kansas City at Kansas City off the bye felt like an anointing. Like, it felt like we kill the Kings, where we could be the new Kings, So I wanted to get the whole defense together. I had the whole defense at my crib. It was a good time. And leaving, somebody took somebody's slippers. So one of my teammates went home without shoes. So I'm like, bro, like, I'm seeing everybody out. I'm like, bro, how you leave without shoes? They like, bro, somebody took my slippers. And they was, like, really pissed about it. Like, yo, like, we gonna find out, like, who took my shoes. And then we found out it was Latu. And then, like, everybody just was like, oh, all right.
He's good. He's good. It was an accident.
And Latu could do, like, Latu's such a good guy, like, water under the bridge. If it was anybody else, no lie, Chris, I would have had to break up a fight, no question.
No question. But also, like, who's wearing shower shoes to your house?
Well, that's my thing. This is November in Indiana. Like, put some shoes on. That's how I look at it, but dude. I can't judge. I don't know what these guys.
It's a socks and sandals thing in November. That's crazy. How fun was the Rivers thing? I know it wasn't a good situation, but was it, like, crazy to be? I don't want to answer the question in the question, but was it fun to see a guy who's got a chance of getting a gold jacket, like, coming out cold and, like, kind of just slinging the ball around? I know he didn't have the arm talent anymore, but y'all damn near won a couple of those games. I mean, fuck, dude, you go to Seattle, it's 18-16. He lit it up on Monday night. Was it weird? What was it?
I'd probably say for me, now I love Phillip. Like, probably the best teammate I've ever had.
Really?
Like, I've only played with him for 2 years, but he just loved being a teammate that much and to have that much, legacy on your name and be so down to earth and just be so willing to just meet anybody where they're at. And he just loves ball. Like, so I love seeing Phillip there. And obviously we were in a tough situation, so we appreciate him coming. But I don't know, like I loved him coming. You know, I really wish we would have got that Seattle game. You know, I talked to Phillip a lot before the game, and I knew, I'm like, bro, it's just going to take one hit for you to get up and know that you okay, you know, and then you're going to be in it. And that's really all it was. Like, they got to him one time, and he dirted it, and he got hit, but then he got up and was like, I didn't break. All right, back. Yeah. Let's go play. So, you know, I thought it was cool. We really should have won that Seattle game, but I don't know. Like, it was cool to see Phillip there, but, you know, we was in the middle of a losing streak. I really wanted to, like, win the game, you know, so it was cool. It was cool, and I was glad that Phillip was getting those flowers because he really deserved that, you know, based off of his career and the things he'd been through. But at the end of the day, we're here to try to compete and get into the playoffs and win the championship. I feel like our focus got a little off, you know, towards the end.
Yeah, well, it's hard. I mean, like, you guys have such high hopes, and you guys were legitimately one of the best teams in the league. Right. And then all of a sudden the rug gets pulled out from under you. And, like, as a team and as a defense, it can be hard because you kind of sometimes you try to overdo it. You know, like you try to do too much. You know, you guys can be trying to make the play that wins the game because you get impatient with the offense, or you know, all the sudden changes or whatever. Like, you just all of a sudden, like, the stability of complementary football gets taken away. And I you know, I've certainly been in those situations before, but I felt for y'all because at one point I did think you guys were legit Super Bowl contenders, and it probably felt that way.
We was, and it was. I would say that's probably, you know, one of those we gonna look back and what if type of thing. You know what I mean? What if, yeah. You know, Danny, it's like, again, I'm telling you, like, that Kansas City game felt like the season. You know what I mean? You know how when you in it, and it's just like, man, like every game felt like that's just where we was. Like, we were just such a week by week team. So like every game felt like it meant everything. So when we found out Danny had something going on, it was like, hold on, bro, like, we need you for this game, you know? Looking back, it's like, damn, like, maybe we could have sat him, you know, or figured that out. Obviously, Anthony being hurt, I think, hurt the whole situation. But, you feel me? It was cool. Like I said, I really wish we could have got that Seattle game. Defensively, I feel like we should have closed it out. And then I knew he was going to light up San Fran because he played against Gus and Saleh his whole career. His whole career was going against that defense of the Chargers. So we knew they was going to light it up. Just defensively, we couldn't do our part. So
he was killing them, but those uniforms are so fucking ugly.
The black and
holy shit, you look like Duke. Did you not, dude? Were you trying to make those work?
I love the black helmets. I really wish we just would have did something with the black helmets. So I love the black. I got two of them. Sorry, Frog, but I got them black helmets was like that though.
Well, on TV, maybe not so much. From where I was sitting, I was seeing Duke. So, and you be an ACC guy now, I mean, you kind of know what that means. So, well, now Duke's pretty good. I just want to finish with this because I've asked you a million football questions. I know we talked about basketball last time you were here. Who are you hoping wins the finals, man? We got game one of the Western Conference Finals coming up. I guess tonight. I take it one day at a time. That game 7 last night was terrible, dude.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible.
It was awful. And I'm a Knicks fan, so I feel pretty good.
Gosh, no.
What's wrong, dude?
Let me just say, bro, first of all, and you know what's crazy? I wasn't even going to do it, but like, Josh Hart and like Jalen Brunson, let me just say this. Jalen Brunson is a real dog, so I don't got no disrespect.
He's a dog.
Like Jalen Brunson is really that boy. I ain't got no disrespect.
He is.
And y'all did my Sixers. It's cool. Y'all did my Sixers. We didn't even expect to be there, so, you know, congratulations.
Yeah.
Josh Hart talking about Philly not a sports town. Like, bro, put your chest back in, bro. Like,
he's trolling.
You're not that guy. Like, that,
he knows that's not
I know true. That shit hurt my feelings when because they did the Sixers so bad. I can't.
Because they're Nova guys.
I can't. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you were part of it. Like, what you talking about? But I know that ignited me. Like, every time I see it, I had to lock my phone because I'm like, I'm a professional athlete. I can't be arguing with other guys like this. But
you know what happened?
That was out. He can't speak. He can't speak on Philly like that. That was a little disrespectful. But it's cool. I get it. They did it. So what can we say?
But that's fucked up. But you know what happened? Probably he loved being in Philly. They're all Nova guys. They come back. People are talking out of pocket to him. And it hurt his feelings, and so then he lashed out instead of just being like, "Hey, it's part of the game."
But Chris,
yeah,
think about this: as you played in Philly, there's 4 professional teams there. Of all the teams there where New York feel like they could take over, there's only one team, I hate to say it, that could actually happen to.
It's just basketball.
They not doing that at no Flyers game.
Nope.
They're not doing it at the Link.
I don't know if the Phillies. I haven't been enough
not doing it
enough Phillies games.
The Yankees not coming down. Like I'm just saying, like how they took over and they do all the stuff with Rock. Like they not doing all that to nobody. It's just the Sixers like this. But like you feel me. But again, they did my Sixers, so I'm really sorry.
So you're anti. You don't want the Knicks to win.
I just want the Knicks to lose. Like I put the Knicks are currently in the same bucket as Jacksonville for me. Currently.
Okay.
Currently.
Wow.
Yeah, currently. It's a little personal. Like he made it, like Josh Hart made it personal for me. That's what I'm saying. As a fan.
So Josh Hart holds the cards for you. That Josh Hart is going to ruin
I like
your
Brunson
whole
game though. Like you feel me? I'm a Team USA guy, so like Brunson, we need you to bring back the gold. But yeah, Josh Hart, he took it a little far for me. Honestly,
okay, so
as a fan, though, this is me speaking as a fan.
So in order of teams you hope win, who are you hoping wins down through 4 as the Knicks?
You said before the Knicks?
Who's your number one? Who do you want to win the finals?
I think I want OKC to win, just because Shea going back-to-back MVP. For him to go back-to-back MVP, champion, Finals MVP, that puts him in rare air. And I feel like I'm one of them dudes that appreciate and accept greatness as it comes. So I would love to see him step into those, because he's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. He already making people uncomfortable with these back-to-back MVPs. But if
there's some uncomfortable conversations happening.
Yeah, there's some conversations that's probably going to need to come up around SGA. So I'm rooting for them. I probably Wemby. Honestly, if they don't get it, I would love to see. Just because I love Wemby, like, Wemby's got that mentality that I just respect as an athlete of just wanting to be better, wanting to be the best version of yourself. Like when I see Wemby and I hear him talk, like it's inspiring the different things he's willing to do or try to, go after to like truly maximize himself from a mental, like all in one. He's one of those dudes that believes in the all in one, like mental, spiritual, physical, all aligned to be great. I love that about Wemby. So probably him, and then the Cavs just look like I don't really
boring.
See that. Even though I do like Harden, I would love for Harden to get it, but whatever.
I like Mitchell. I like Mitchell a lot. Mm-hmm. But the thing you said about Wemby, it's kind of ironic he's in San Antonio, because I think Pop, who doesn't get to coach him, but like met him on the tarmac after he threw that fucking hellacious elbow. Like he's the right kind of guy for that program. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't just the best prospect. It's kind of like the best place for him with Pop still involved in any way. And I would love to see, if the Knicks don't win it, which it probably won't, I would love to see Pop see another title, because like he doesn't look that good. His back's so fucked up. The guy's going through it. But I'd love to see him see that, like, the torch is passed, and that program, because that was a great program, man. Even though they beat my Knicks in the 99, I think it was 99 or 2000 finals, swept us. But yeah, no, I'm pulling. The question I wanted to ask you was, and I love Anthony Edwards, but what the fuck is going on with the handshake thing?
Oh, him shaking people's hands 8 minutes left?
Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, I ain't watched. I don't know why. Like, I knew that had the chance to be a great series. I didn't watch one game of it. I don't know why. It was just
because it's late.
To do, but
because it's late at night.
Yeah, you shaking everybody's hand. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he just thought they was truly the better team. Maybe that's just how he carried it. Maybe he just thought they was better than them. I don't know. 8 minutes left sounds like a lot of time though.
There's just this debate about football players and basketball players, and how all the guys on what's the name of Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye's podcast, Road Tripping. They were talking about again how like they could all play in the NFL, and I'm like, it doesn't look from a mentality standpoint.
You saying something too though, like, and even think about that though, like Wemby, and that's one of the reasons I do love Wemby though, is because it's like, think about the type of guy that goes to a program like that and embraces that culture and embraces that history, embraces the Tim Duncan teaching, the David Robson teaching, the Pop teaching, and doesn't just go and says, okay, I'm some generational prospect from France, and obviously I can do things that none of them can do, but he wants to be a part of that. He wants to be aligned in that. And I feel like when you go to an organization like San Antonio, like a Green Bay Packers, I feel like that helps, with the success.
Okay, Wemby. Okay, Wemby.
I can pod now, Chris. Don't do that. I can get my shit on, though.
Yeah, dude, I know. One of the best. On and off the field, man. It's good to have Zaire Franklin on the fucking show again, man. Hey, good luck this year, man. I'm sure we'll talk again, but come on after a win or something like that.
No, 100%. Got to.
Yeah, man, and yeah, enjoy. Don't eat any of that hollandaise sauce they put on everything up there. You see that white sauce they put on all their breakfast and everything and on their eggs up there?
Okay. Yeah, don't try it.
Stay away. Just don't. It's fucking disgusting. They put it on everything. Have you not had a meal up there?
I mean, yeah, I hit I went to Legend Larry's. That's the wing spot out here.
Okay,
I hit that joint, and then I hit downtown. What's the breakfast spot? Creamery. I hit that joint too.
We went to the creamery too. Z, appreciate you, dude. I'll catch you soon.
For sure. Appreciate it.
Thanks, bro.